Okay, go ahead.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining me on this Juice Plus Zoom event. Aloha from beautiful Hawaii. I wanted Patton. I wanted to just first off say thanks to everybody for joining and for just taking some time to hear a little bit more about what Juice Plus is and first off what it has done for me. So I just wanted to share my story with you about why I decided to start Juice Plus and kind of where it has brought me to at this point in life. So thank you for listening. I moved to Kansas with my late husband, Mike, a few years ago, and we met my amazing friends, Christy and Patton. And Christy invited us over to her house for a Juice Plus event, and I had no idea what Juice Plus was. I hadn't heard of it before. So it was something, honestly, Mike and I went over there because, we were looking to meet new friends, and Mike liked Patton a lot, and I liked Christy because we'd become friends, and we're like, yeah, let's just go over there, and then we'll go get drinks afterwards. And so we went there, and we listened to Christy talk a little bit about Juice Plus in this presentation, and the science behind the product it makes sense. Like, there was nothing that I questioned, in terms of all of the clinical research that had, been done and put into this product. And, it literally just made sense. And at this time, Mike was a big chicken wing eater, and he liked beer and burgers and French fries. And I tried to make him healthy lunches and healthy dinners, but he definitely liked his own thing. And, he was the one who, after watching this presentation, he said, Katie, I think we need to do this. It makes sense to me too. And so I always referred to it as Mike's buffer between chicken wings and beer. So I knew that if he was going to be eating crap sometimes, that he'd at least be getting all of these fruits and vegetables into his system, and that they would be absorbed into his bloodstream. So that kind of gave me peace of mind, knowing that he was taking care of himself. And so I was on the product. I started it in September of 2013, and I started referring people to Christy when they asked me, what's changed in you? Your skin looks better, like everything just looks better. You kind of have a flow. And honestly, the only change I really made was adding Juice Plus into my diet at this point. So, I was referring people to Christy, and then she said, Katie, why are you doing this? You should, at least just sign up to become a distributor. And, it's a little bit of money to pay for, I basically signed up for the discount. Like, let's just be honest about it. This is why I did it. And then, I was on the product, for a long time, for another like 5 or 6 months. And at this time, Mike and I were getting ready to move. We were getting ready to get married, and we started having some issues with our dog Stevie right before our move. And to make a very long story short, she started having all of these back issues, and it was just a really stressful time. We were moving, we had all of that going on. She was basically like our first child, and the outlook was not looking good. And, then we moved, and it was just a really, really stressful time, in our lives. And unfortunately, right after we, did our PCS and moved, we had to put Stevie to sleep. And that was a really hard decision. It was a really tough thing to be able to do, but we knew in the long run it was best for her. And then 2 days later, after putting Stevie to sleep, Mike passed away. Somebody hit him when he was on his motorcycle. And this was only about 3.5 weeks after our wedding. And so that was a really terrible, terrible time for me. And, I wasn't eating properly. I, definitely probably drank a little more wine and beer than what I normally did. And I really wasn't eating. And if I was eating pizza, and I was eating, junk. However, I was still taking Juice Plus complete shakes at this time. So, I knew that even though I wasn't eating like the right food all of the time, I was at least doing these shakes, which had fruits and vegetables in them. And I was still taking my capsules or my gummies and still getting a lot of fruits and vegetables into my system. And I truly, within my whole heart, believe that that is the only thing besides amazing friends and family that got me through that time, without completely losing it, is that I was still getting all of this nutrition in my body during the most stressful time in my entire life. And one of the most incredible parts to my story is that it took over a year and a half before I got sick in any way. And to me, that's huge. I used to be the type of person who'd, get sick a couple times a year. If I took time off from the gym and then waited a couple weeks and went back, I'd always pick up some type of sickness from touching a machine. And even after I started Juice Plus, like everything just kind of started to work right in my body. And I truly believe that's the only thing that kept me from getting sick for so long, is just that I was getting the right stuff, within my system. It's readily absorbed into the bloodstream. And I truly believed it probably saved me in a lot of ways. And that is why I'm so passionate about sharing it with people, because it was a huge game changer for me, and has just, it's a part of my everyday life now. I still get people that say, oh, your skin glows. And I'm like, well, I don't really see it, I guess, but I'm glad you see it. And really, I think the only thing I'm doing is taking Juice Plus. And it's just an amazing product. And I just love sharing it with people and sharing my story. And, hopefully at some point, it'll resonate with somebody, and maybe it's right for them, maybe it's not, but it's really been right for me. It's been right for, members of my family and friends, and they've seen a lot of different changes within their health just from taking this product. So thanks for listening to my story and for coming in on this meeting.
Thank you, Katie. Every time she tells her story, it gets me, because we were there with her and we love Mike. So, but we always do laugh because Katie did introduce it as balancing it out with his beer and wings. And it's so true. And Mike he came to our house and he ordered from my website. All of a sudden I got this email that said Michael Garling was eating Juice Plus. And I was like, what? This is awesome. So, but it's been a really cool journey to be with Katie on this. And I'm going to tell you a tiny bit about my journey, because actually through the presentation, I sprinkle it through. But I was actually paid to go to an event like this, only it was in home and by a doctor and his wife, who I was a nanny for in college. They saw me eating McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts all the time in front of their kids. And I think they got really tired of me doing that. So they paid me to go to this event. And Juice Plus didn't make sense to me. So if you're on here and it doesn't make sense to you at first, that's okay. Just eat more fruits and vegetables. But what I really want you to know is that we're here to, you saw the title of this event. We're here to take on the criticism and the skepticism. We want to answer all the questions so you can see if this is the right fit for you or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys some visuals. And I'm actually going to kind of share with you my why on why I do this. Katie is definitely a strong part of it. When you lose somebody you love, you kind of open up your horizons a little bit and see what nutrition does for people. And you kind of want to be that messenger and that source to be able to tell everyone about that and let them decide what they want. So this man on the left-hand side is my dad. I lost my dad a couple years ago to reasons that could have been prevented. I grew up my entire life watching how he ate and ate a lot like him. And then I realized later that your DNA is not your destiny. That Time Magazine has this amazing article that says that the news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you. It's that they're so good for you, they can actually save your life. And while they didn't save my dad's life, they gave me more time with him. My dad was on Coumadin, a rat poisoning that basically ate away at his liver. And when he passed, he went very quickly. It was like they said hospice. I got home. He died 2 or 3 days later. But it was good that I was able to be home with him and say goodbye. But what that did is my dad, for years being on Coumadin, couldn't have rat poison, or he couldn't have rat poisoning. He couldn't have leafy greens, because when you're on Coumadin, that really messes with your with your dosage on your medicine. So when I got him to talk to a doctor about eating Juice Plus, it made sense to him. He knew that there were greens in our Juice Plus. He's like, Christy, I can't have that because I can't have leafy greens. And the doctor said, yes, you can, because it's a concentrated equal amount every single day. And that dosage went from the highest dosage to the lowest dosage. And I think that made a big difference of Coumadin. So when I stood at the edge of my dad's bed, I realized, what am I doing filming people's weddings and commercials? Why am I not telling people about how important it is to be eating healthy? And the man on the right is actually, I'm pulling my husband into this, is my father-in-law. And I'm committed to make sure that my husband does not lose his father as quickly as I lost mine. So Patton's going to tell you really quickly about what we found out. Yes, you are. He's telling you. Tell him what happened with your dad.
So my dad came back from Afghanistan in 2008. He deployed for a year with the retiree recall program and stood up the Afghan bomb school, basically, for the explosive ordnance school. And he came back from Afghanistan. He had all these patches all over his skin that started to develop within like the first 6 months of coming back. And so over the next 7 years, he basically went to doctors and they tried to figure out what was going on, and they diagnosed it as everything from psoriasis to adult chicken pox, whatever the heck that's called. I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, they gave him all these meds and all this crap, and nothing seemed to work, and it wasn't going away. And he finally went and talked to a doctor this spring in January, I guess, or this winter. And they said, she looked at him and immediately was like, you have skin cancer. And he's like, what? How can you tell? You haven't even looked at me. She's like, I've seen this before. You have skin cancer. We need to do some tests. And so after 7 years, someone finally figured out that he had skin cancer. Well, the treatment is really, really expensive for what he has, and really painful, to be honest. And so we were hoping that, maybe he wouldn't have to go through that. And so once he found out, while he was waiting on all these blood tests and stuff to come back, Christy and I, we flew home and we said, hey, Dad, why don't you make some changes, like commit to this. Will you please, like, just try it? And luckily, he was kind of like, all right, I'll try whatever we can at this point. And so he got on board, and within a month and a half to 2 months, like almost all the patches on his skin like started to disappear, and now they're almost completely gone. And it's just amazing, because all we did was we added Juice Plus to his diet and made some small changes to his nutrition, and all of a sudden, like, he's doing, a lot better. And the doctors were amazed. Like, they're like, what did you do? Like, what have you changed? And he told them, and they're like, yeah, keep doing it, because, if we have to treat you for this, like, you're going to have to get grants and stuff. People can't afford to get this treatment, So and it's been a godsend for us. It's been really, really amazing. And yeah, it's pretty cool that Christy was willing to go, talk some sense into my father, who is really tough to talk sense into. Back to you, Christy.
Thank you. So yeah, one stubborn person to another, we got through to him. So here's the bottom line. 75% of all chronic disease is preventable. This is Dr. Bill Sears saying it, not me. You guys can see the bullet points in here, but I always point out this. It's like saying to you guys that you have a 75% chance of winning the lottery ticket. All you have to do is buy it, and everybody buys it. They don't question that. But when it comes to our health, we don't make those changes, and we need to, because by not making these changes, these statistics continue to rise. And this one kills me. I'm not even a parent, but Dr. David Katz says that this may be the first generation of children to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents. To sum it up, parents are burying their children, again, because of reasons that can be prevented. And if you look down here, you can read all this, but this last one right here, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that children as young as 8 years old be treated with cholesterol-lowering statin drugs. So to put that simply, these statin drugs take 8 to 10 years off an adult's life. So what do you think it's doing to our children? So here's the importance of why we should eat more fruits and vegetables, is because fruits and vegetables help protect our bodies from sickness and disease. So the easiest thing you can do is start making a change where every time you pick up your plate, you should divide it in half and make sure that half of that plate is filled with fruits and vegetables. A lot of times people don't know what to do as far as recipes and stuff like that. So the best place to go to is choosemyplate.gov. That talks about eating in season. It has affordable, different types of recipes that you can make at home for your entire family. So I told you, Time Magazine said that the news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you. It's that they're so good for you that they can actually save your life. Here's a really good example of why. So that red blob is a cancer cell. We just talked about cancer. And that purple blob is an antioxidant. Antioxidants are the only thing that's going to really take down oxidative stress, bad things in the body, rusting and aging of the body. I mean, there is definitely something to be said about protein, but we really need to start looking at micronutrition, all the thousands of phytonutrients and vitamins and minerals that are in an apple, not something that's isolated and fragmented. You know, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. This is 500 of over 10,000 phytonutrients that are included in one single apple. So let's just pull out vitamin C for a second. It only has 5.7 milligrams of vitamin C in it. So when you think about a vitamin C tablet that has 1,500 milligrams, people tend to think that that's what you should eat. But if you combine that one vitamin C, 5.7 milligrams of vitamin C, with all of these other phytonutrients, that boosts the power to 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C. And so when you eat an apple, you're eating 10,000 phytonutrients and counting versus one in a vitamin C tablet. So food is first and foremost. So Juice Plus is all about food because we are food. If you look at the back of our label, we have a food label, not a supplement label. It may look like a vitamin, but that is the only thing that it has going for it. It looks like one. Everything else is completely different. So these are all the fruits and vegetables that are included in Juice Plus. And I'm talking the whole thing, like the peel of an orange is included in this. The seeds and the papaya that we scoop out, if you're even eating a papaya, now Katie may be because she's in Hawaii, but most people aren't, that's included in there too. So what happens is starting from the seed, non-GMO, it's grown in soil that's pure. It doesn't have herbicides or pesticides or toxic metals or anything else like that in it. It grows to peak of ripeness, which is completely different than what we get from the store and even sometimes at a farmer's market where things are ripening over time. Ours ripes at peak ripeness, then it's picked, washed, and then it's Vitamixed. It's not juice because it doesn't lose all the fiber, but all these fruits and vegetables, including that orange peel that I told you about, it's dehydrated then into a really airtight container. And what you get is fruit and vegetable powder that you can put into a capsule or a gummy. And then I'll talk to you guys about the shakes in a second. But these weren't picked at random. These are the most nutritious fruits and vegetables, and they work synergistically together. So they're not there to replace fruits and vegetables. By all means, eat fruits and vegetables, and after eating Juice Plus, you'll probably want more. But this is bridging that gap between what we are eating and what we should be eating. So like Katie mentioned, the beer and the wings with Mike, this bridges that gap for him. So this is what I love. It's like we told you about some stories, but all of our stories support the science. Katie talked about how after she lost her dog and her husband within 2 days of one another, it took 1.5 years for her to get sick. Now you go and talk to anyone who's lost a family member, they're going to tell you that's the highest amount of stress they've ever endured. Most people get sick very quickly after that. But we have a handful of studies that show that Juice Plus helps boost the immune system. And we know that not because people say it, but because it's tested on actual human blood. And the blood doesn't lie. So these are the companies that we keep. Yale, University of Arizona, University of Texas. We have Würzburg. We have other health institutions around the world that say that Juice Plus gets in your body, it's absorbed into your bloodstream, and it does good things for your body. That is what double-blind, peer-reviewed studies will tell you, gold standard research. So if you are someone who nerds out on this, let us know so we can give you the research. It is awesome. But this is my favorite research. And this is done by parents and kids and families all over this world. So any parent or any adult really who gets on Juice Plus, our capsules or our gummies, can sponsor a child to be on Juice Plus for free for the next 4 years. So you're flooding their bodies with 20 different fruits and vegetables. Here's what they notice. They're eating more fruits and vegetables. They're going to the doctor less. They're getting sick less. They're drinking more water. They're consuming less fast foods. They're feeling better. And they probably have a lot more balanced energy. The teachers will thank you. So this is the other half of the story. These are our shakes. It's called Juice Plus Complete for a reason, because it's not a protein drink. It's not a meal replacement. It belongs in a category all by itself. This is macronutrition at its finest. The way the formula works, the way they've created this, is designed to help your body get from one meal to the next. And how it makes you feel is awesome. But what I love is, just like all of our products, it's food, but it's also great for everyone, including people with diabetes. So we're going to talk about the low glycemic load real quick. In terms of energy, when you eat something that's very sugary and low in fiber, something like a Snickers bar, what you'll notice is a spike of energy. So if you're looking at that light blue line, this is a really great representation of that. You have this crazy amount of energy, and then you dip down to like no man's land where you're just hangry and you say things you don't mean, and that's where the zero willpower happens. You've got none. You're eating whatever you possibly can because you're hangry. But with our shakes, I hear this, I almost want to say 99% of the time, is the energy from the shakes is absolutely amazing. It's balanced from meal to meal. And when I say meal to meal, we're supposed to be eating every 2.5, 3 hours, but it is the easiest way I can make a breakfast. I can get out the door in 30 seconds with a shake. All I do is mix it with whatever type of liquid you want in a blender bottle, and I'm out the door. You can pack it in with a blender with a lot of frozen fruits and veggies and make it more of a meal, but it is the real deal when we talk about having some energy. You can have this anytime you want. There are days where I literally have 5 shakes a day because I'm so busy, and it is the healthiest fast food I can find. And for kids, I remember coming home off the school bus and being exhausted. I wish my mom would have had something like this ready for me to have before dinner was ready because I was crazy. So I know it helps with all my clients who have kids who are getting out of school, but it is seriously the easiest breakfast you can make for them. If you are in a whey or casein-based protein powder, I encourage you to do the research. The bottom line is no matter how minimally processed they say it still comes from dairy, and it's a byproduct of it. And they've been throwing that product away for years. It's been like this frothy top on top of the dairy. Here's the thing. It is highly processed. It does create inflammation, and it does promote cancer. And we want to reduce inflammation as much as possible. Plants help to do that. So please do your research and just see what the other half of the story is before you continue to go down that road. So I'm going to skip these 2 slides because I want to leave time for discussion, but I want to get to our toxic ladies because everyone has a toxic load in their body. And we're going to look at the top lady first. All those little dots in there are toxins. They're unwelcome house guests who get into your fat cells, and they'll sit there forever as long as you let them. The longer they sit there, the more damage they do. So most people turn to dieting or over-exercising. And that's not really the answer to what we need to do. But what we notice is their body structure may change. So look at that middle woman in there. But the toxic load is still there, and that's when we have some serious issues. So our body is amazing. It repairs itself by building more fat and protecting your bodies from getting the toxins to your vital organs. So that's the rebound that we get. A lot of people who do diets, we see rebounds all the time. But what we find with people who are consistent with cleanses or people who maintain and do our program, we see maintenance. So toxins are water soluble. When you drink a lot of water, that pushes the toxins out of your body. But we got to repair that damage, because if that damage isn't repaired, then we have sickness and disease. Fruits and vegetables repair that damage. So if you do our program and you're putting 40 different fruits and vegetables into your body every single day from our products, the damage is going to start being repaired. So the best way I can describe toxins is Cousin Eddie. Cousin Eddie is that guy who shows up at your house on Christmas and all the rooms are full, so he decides to camp out in his really junky RV and pump sewage into your neighbor's yard. So that is a really great description of a toxin. So the more you can get those Cousin Eddies, those dots out of your body, the better. So here's our program. You can do 10 days, like balls to the wall, following every single one of these guidelines, and I tell you, you are going to notice a huge difference. You can do this for 30 days and find things that you feel comfortable trying and then continuing to add. But the bottom line is all of our products come in a 4-month supply. So you decide what part of the program works for you and how serious you want to go. But if you do 2 shakes a day and eat our trio capsules, your cellular structure inside your body is absolutely going to change. So the other thing we want you to do is we want you to drink water, enough so that your urine remains clear. So remember, you got to get the cousin Eddie's out. You're going to have energy because, like I said, these shakes, they give them to you. You're going to want to work out if you're not working out right now. And if you are working out, you're probably going to notice that you recover faster and you're going to take your fitness up to the next level. 0 wheat and 0 dairy. Don't knock it till you try it. Like, it is amazing how your body will talk to you once you reintroduce it. It tells you if you have an intolerance or not. Dr. Mitra Ray says that no human can properly digest gluten, and the best way to get your source of calcium is actually through leafy greens. Breathing. I mean, if you do everything perfect on here and you don't reduce your stress, you are doing your body a disjustice, because it's like your body is always in fight or flight mode. Your sympathetic nervous system is activated, and then it's not turning on to receive nutrition. It's just turned off. So you've got to learn to reduce your stress. That is huge. And I know a yoga instructor who's on this call who can lead you through some breathing exercises. Getting sleep is awesome. We should all probably try a little bit harder to do it, because it really could take years off of your life if you're not doing it. But think about this. If we plug our cell phone battery in every single night and it wakes up charged, are we? You want to be like your phone. So try to eat your last meal by 6. As a night owl, I'm telling you, the struggle for me is real, but there is something to be said about it. But the most important thing, if you want to do this program, you should not be hungry. Okay, we have meals that you can try. You can make your own recipes. We have smoothie recipes. We have snack ideas. And we have a private face group that is seriously probably one of the most supportive groups I've ever been on. They're all rooting for you and sharing their journey too. So we have all these tools in place to help you get through this and see what can happen. You are worth it to see what can happen in the next 4 months. So this is Michelle, 90 days in. Clearly, she has lost some weight, but I'm going to tell you that this is not a weight loss program. We will never, ever advertise it. But when you make simple changes along the way, it is amazing how your body will respond. And Michelle did this with her son. Absolutely safe to do with your family. This is Kim. She's the original T30 girl. I see her every 6 months. She's the one that said that it is that second shake that makes all the difference. It really is. She's gone from a size 12 to a size 2, and I see her like this all the time. More energy. This guy looks so much younger. You would not guess that he is 68 years old over here on the right-hand side. And I love this because I say it all the time that the stories support the science, but the fact that people are getting off of their medication is just proof that, food is medicine. And then same thing with this woman. She was on 10 medications. Now she's off of 9, in control of her MS. Like, who doesn't want that? And I love this because I have been so guilty about spending hundreds of dollars on skincare, not even realizing the toxic load that is in the majority of our beauty products that goes in through our largest organ, our skin. And then where do the toxins sit? In our fat cells. And it takes a long time to get those out. So I love that, number one, we have a dermatology study that shows that Juice Plus improves your skin, but you also heard Katie say how many people complimented her on it. I see that all the time in my clients, and I love this because Lindsay is pregnant here. So again, not only are our products safe, but beneficial. And we have a pregnancy study. This is great for moms who are breastfeeding. And most women who are pregnant notice that their skin goes haywire because of all the hormones. But Lindsay noticed an improvement. Here's a mom who did our program for 1 year. Now, obviously, the body structure of her changed, but in the middle it says no more chronic migraines, which I've got to imagine she probably feels more like a mom. And here's a really great example of our children's health study. These boys are brothers. Their parents were spending over $7,000 on home remedies. Their kids are taking 22 sick days a year, or tons with the other kid. They get their kids in the children's health study. All of a sudden, their immune system is boosted and they're taking skip days. Like, what parent doesn't want that? And then this is me. I told you that this is not a weight loss program. I actually gained weight on this. In fact, I gained lean muscle mass. So I did the 10-day shred, like the balls to the wall rules, twice in 1 month. And I was traveling during this, so nothing was perfect. And I went to the bod pod where you sit in this spaceship-like thing and it measures out your fat mass and your muscle mass. And I lost in less than 30 days almost 2 pounds of fat and gained almost 2.5 pounds of muscle. And I'm a vegan. So, so this program is amazing. I noticed the recovery from my workouts, amazing. And I see that all the time. So here's the deal. If you want to do the program, I totally recommend doing 2 shakes a day and the trio capsules or gummies for the next 4 months. It is amazing what it can do for your body, and you are so worth it. If you want to do it, it's $6.50 a day plus tax where you live. Some people benefit by not having to pay tax on food. So it just depends on where you live. Just let's say $200 a month for the nutrition of 40 different fruits and vegetables going in your body every single day, and some 2 easy to make shakes, like no-brainer meals. Or if 2 shakes intimidates the living out of you, then break it down to 1 shake. Start there. It's $4.40 a day. With both of these programs, as long as you're on the capsules or the chewables, you can sponsor that child in your life to be on Juice Plus for free. All you have to do is pay their shipping, and they're on it for 4 years if you're on it for 4 years. So recap. Please don't call Juice Plus a vitamin. It may look like it, but that's it. It is actually food. It is incredibly simple to eat. We have results, not just like customers talking about how they feel. We have proof, and it's called scientific research that is gold standard. And it is incredibly affordable. Most Americans spend $3 a day on a cup of coffee. You can see what you can get with Juice Plus. If you don't want to do this program, you can pick and choose. It's totally up to you. We also have a garden that grows without soil and it waters itself. So if you want to get in on that and get information on that, let us know. But honestly, what we want to hear are the tough questions, because we're the messengers. We're here to help you see if this is the right fit for you or not. So Katie's going to ask you if you're an A, B, or C. A means you're going to keep eating more fruits and vegetables and trying to drink some more water and just living healthier. You do not have to be on Juice Plus. Although, if you decide later on down the road you want to, Katie will always be here. Option B, you saw the prices for as little as $1.50 a day. You can start with 20 different fruits and vegetables, or do the whole program for $6.50 a day. The choice is absolutely yours. And option C, I'm so happy that someone told me about option C. Option C is if you have people in your life who you think need to know about this, you can pay $50 a year and become a distributor. A lot of people say it's to offset the costs. And yes, that's how I started in this business, but that's not just the opportunity. The opportunity is that I have been able to get to the top of this company and work with some of my best friends. And when Katie lost her husband and her dog, I was able to take over a month off and just be with her. I didn't have to ask Juice Plus if I could take time off. I just did it. And because of the hard work and the efforts that I put in before this, I was able to collect a check. And now I get to work with her and help her live whatever dreams she wants. So just know that this is a business out there that is tried and proven, and you have support. This is not something you do on your own, but the choice is yours. A, B, or C. You just have to let us know what information you need in order to determine if this is actually the right fit for you or not. So I'm going to turn the recording off. So if anyone has any questions,